what if we could engineer children to be more intelligent or more athletic or have perfect pitch? Simple terms, what is CRISPR and why is it such a big deal? All right, everyone, buckle up because today we are diving into some seriously mind-blowing stuff.
Mind-blowing is right.
You're talking about gene editing and this whole concept of designer babies.
Yeah, it's definitely a hot topic these days.
It's like straight out of science fiction, but it's becoming more and more real.
Absolutely, and that's what makes it so fascinating and also a little bit unnerving, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
And that's why we're here today to really break it down for you.
Dive deep.
Dive deep, exactly. We've got some excerpts from this article called The Dawn of Designer Babies, A Grave New World.
Catchy title.
Right. Makes you think.
It does.
So before we get into the really heavy stuff, let's just make sure we're all on the same page about what gene editing actually is.
Sure.
I think a lot of people have heard of CRISPR.
Yeah, CRISPR is a big one right now.
Right. But, sometimes it feels like people just throw that word around without really understanding what it means.
It can be a bit of a buzzword for sure.
So can you break it down for us, like in simple terms, what is CRISPR and why is it such a big deal?
Okay, so imagine you have a book, right? And this book is your DNA.
Oh, I like this analogy.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one. So your DNA is like this instruction manual for your body.
It tells your body how to build itself.
Exactly. And sometimes there are typos in that instruction manual.
Mistakes in the DNA.
Yeah, and those mistakes can cause all sorts of problems, like genetic diseases.
Oh, so like cystic fibrosis or Huntington's disease.
Right, those are classic examples. Now, what CRISPR allows us to do is basically go in and fix those typos in the DNA.
Like a find and replace tool for our genes.
Exactly. We can target specific genes and either cut them out, replace them, or even just tweak them a little bit.
Wow. So we can literally edit the building blocks of life.
That's the power of CRISPR. It's revolutionizing medicine and has the potential to cure all sorts of genetic diseases.
That's incredible. It gives so much hope to families who are dealing with these kinds of conditions.
Absolutely. It's life-changing technology.
But of course, like with any powerful technology, there's a flip side.
There's always a flip side.
Right. And that's where things start to get a little bit, well, ethically tricky.
That's where the designer baby conversation comes in.
Yeah, because now we're not just talking about curing diseases.
Right. Now we're talking about potentially enhancing human capabilities.
Like, what if we could engineer children to be more intelligent or more athletic or have perfect pitch?
And that's where things get really interesting and also really scary for some people.
I mean, it raises so many questions, right? Like, where do we draw the line? What about the unintended consequences?
Yeah, and what about the societal impact?
Exactly. Like, what happens if only the wealthy can afford to design their perfect children?
It could create a whole new level of inequality.
And then there's the whole slippery slope argument, right? Today, it's fixing a gene for a devastating disease, but tomorrow, is it choosing eye color or height?
Where do we draw the line? It's a really tough question.
That is a question we need to be asking ourselves right now.
Absolutely. We need to have open and honest conversations about the ethics of gene editing.
Because this technology isn't going away.
No, it's here to stay.
So we need to figure out how to use it responsibly.
And that's where things get really challenging because there's no easy answer.
It's not just about science anymore. It's about philosophy. It's about ethics. It's about what kind of future we want to create.
It's about what it means to be human.
Exactly. And I think this deep dive has really just scratched the surface of this complex topic.
It's a deep rabbit hole.
It is. So I encourage everyone listening to do their own research, talk to their friends and family.
I have those difficult conversations.
Yeah, because these aren't just hypothetical questions anymore.
These are real-world issues that we're all going to have to grapple with.
And the choices we make today will have a huge impact on the future of humanity.
Absolutely.
So let's all try to be informed and engaged citizens as we navigate this brave new world.
I think that's a great place to leave it.
Yeah. So think about it, folks. If you had the power to edit your future child's genes, would you? And if so, where would you draw the line?
Heavy stuff.
Heavy stuff indeed. But that's what deep dives are all about, right?
That's why we're here.
Thanks for joining us on this one.
It's been a pleasure.
And we'll see you next time.